Thank you, Barry McCarty. Now it's time. Nominations are in order for the office of President.
My name is Matt Hensley, and I am a messenger from First Baptist Church in Farmersville, Texas, and I rise to nominate Bart Barber for the presidency of the Southern Baptist Convention with a question for all of us. What kind of a people will we be? Will we be a people known by what we are for or what we are against? Will we be remembered for our egregious scandal or our righteous response? Will we die on the hills of preference or kneel at the hill of Calvary? Will we take arms against one another or lock arms and cooperate so that every man, woman, boy, and girl on this earth hears the good news of Jesus Christ? As a convention, we stand at a crossroads. And I humbly submit to you that Bart Barber is the man for the moment. Bart Barber embodies the best of what it means to be a Southern Baptist. He has faithfully and graciously engaged at every level as a champion for Lottie Moon and Annie Armstrong, staunch supporter of our seminaries, trusted leader in his local association and state convention, and passionate protector of religious liberty, tireless defender of the unborn, relentless personal evangelist, faithful prayer warrior, and a steadfast advocate for survivors of sexual abuse. We need a man who will unite rather than divide. We need a man who will build up rather than tear down. We need a man who can lead us through the battleground of our disagreements to the common ground of our cooperation so that we can tell the world about the even ground at the foot of the cross. Brothers and sisters, we must never be unconcerned about the direction in which the SBC we love is heading. But thank God, He has given us His authoritative, inerrant, and sufficient word, so we never have to wonder what that direction needs to be. Go ye therefore and make disciples of all nations. This is a direction that we can and we must agree on. At the end of this week, Bart Barber will return to his duties that he cherishes the most: husband to Tracy, dad to Jim and Sarah, pastor to the people of First Baptist Church of Farmersville, Texas, because Bart Barber is not a politician. Bart Barber is no mega church pastor, but he is my friend. He is my pastor. And not only is he the best man I know, he's the only man suited for the task at hand. And how will Bart Barber lead our convention? Be ye kind to one another. Conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. By this all men will know you are my disciples if you love one another. That's what the good book says. Join me in electing Bart Barber as president of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Bart Barber's name is placed in nomination. Now the second nomination is made by Mike Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Mike Stone, pastor and messenger from Emmanuel Baptist in Blackshear, Georgia. It is my honor to place in nomination Dr. Tom Askell. As we just saw at our own convention, we are sailing through troubled waters, and we need a captain with a wise heart and a steady hand. And Dr. Tom Askell will bring capable leadership to this office. His leadership does not come from the platform or the stage, but because he has spent the last decades of his life leading from the headquarters of the Southern Baptist Convention, the local New Testament church. You may ask, what has prepared Dr. Askell to lead a convention that is embroiled in controversy, steeped in division, and riddled by petty infighting? He pastors a Baptist church. By the way, Dr. Askell and I do not agree on everything, and that is fine. Tom knows that God has made us to be brothers, but not identical twin brothers. For example, we don't share the same exact views on soteriology, but if we're honest, brothers and sisters, no president over the next 2 years will have time to either plant or pluck tulips in the Southern Baptist Convention. We need a trusted president who has a capable grasp on the issues we face today. Tom Ascol will bring capable leadership. He will bring convictional leadership. If you're looking for an army of peacemakers, Tom Ascol is your man, because he knows how to have the tough conversations that making peace requires. He believes our entities and agencies belong to our churches and should be responsible, transparent, and accountable to those who pay the salaries of their employees. Be honest with one another. Keeping quiet and blindly trusting those on the platform has largely gotten us to where we are today. We need a president who is not afraid to ask tough questions, and a president who knows where to find the answers. And Tom Ascol knows you'll find those answers in a book. To defeat the sin of racism, we don't need worldly ideologies. We have a book. To reverse the decline in baptisms, we don't need slick gimmicks and man-centered pragmatism. We have a book. Tom Ascol knows that God doesn't whisper about homosexual sin or heterosexual sin. He knows that because he knows we have a book. When it comes to women pastors, he knows it doesn't matter how many you baptize, how many classes you've got, because we have a book. We need a modern-day son of Issachar who has the world on his heart, Jesus on his mind, and his feet firmly planted in the pages of a sufficient Bible. Because Tom knows we have a book, he will provide leadership that is capable, convictional, and compassionate. As a long-term pastor, Tom has prayed with the hurting, he's wept with the broken, and cared for the abused. But besides that, as the father of an abuse victim, Tom Ascol does speak with kindness. But you don't have to take my word for it. On Sunday, Tom's daughter, Sarah, wrote some powerful words. As I close, hear these words from a survivor. She speaks of the words her dad has spoken over her life. She writes in part, "Abuse is an affront to an almighty God and an injury to those created in his image. And where it occurs, the church and the state must act in the roles God has given them." This is the message Tom has given to his own daughter, and as an abuse survivor myself, I say amen. Finally, last year, thousands of you joined me in calling for change. Today, let's finish what we started, change the direction, and cast your ballot for Dr. Tom Ascol.
Mr. Tom Ascol is nominated. Next, Ted Traylor comes to make a nomination.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Ted Traylor, messenger from the Olive Baptist Church in Pensacola, Florida. I stand to put in nomination the name of Dr. Frank Cox from the North Metro Baptist Church in the Atlanta area. I'm convinced Frank Cox is the man who can take on the giants we face with determination, discipline, and biblical authority. Frank Cox is a rock-solid conservative with a known track record of biblical integrity in his life and in his church. Frank is a man of proven character and pastoral compassion. He's been at North Metro 42 years. Came when he was 24 years old. He had been there a short while when his wife died. He stood by that grave with a book in his hand, convinced more than ever that Jesus was his Lord. And there he was at that little church at Pleasant Hill, a growing area. Frank has written that it was not always pleasant on the hill. They had to rename the church. They had to move the church. Frank Cox had to move a cemetery in order for that church to grow. And I'm here to tell you, Southern Baptist, any man that can move a cemetery and remain the pastor of the church can be the president of the Southern Baptist Convention. He is a man of proven character and pastoral compassion. But Frank Cox is also a man of denominational service. If you want someone who knows how to get us from where we are to where we need to be, Frank Cox is your man. 2 times president of the Georgia Baptist Convention, Southern Baptist Convention first vice president, New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary trustee and chairman of the search committee. 10 years on the executive committee. He knows how to move us forward and bring us together. Mission giving at $250,000 last year, 8% of the local church budget they have in those 40-plus years, reached almost $10 million in giving through the cooperative program. Frank Cox is a strong, courageous, gentle man who can bring us together and then move us forward. I've been burdened about this nomination. Frank and I talked just 24 hours ago. We believe we needed another man. And I come to you and ask you today to consider my friend from the Great North Metro Church who can lead us together, upward and onward through these days of giant challenges. Mark your ballot with me for Dr. Frank Cox. Thank you very much.
The name of Dr. Frank Cox has been nominated. The chair recognizes Wade Akins for a nomination.
I'm Wade Akins, messenger of Bellevue Baptist Church, Memphis, Tennessee. Remember the mission. Our fundamental purpose has always been evangelism, discipleship, and missions. And it's for this reason I'll nominate Dr. Robin Hadaway of Oceanside, California. He is well qualified for the following reasons. Number one, he is a veteran. He served as captain in the United States Air Force in both Nevada as well as Alaska. Number two, he has pastoral experience. He was a senior pastor at Monterey, California, Monterey Park, California, near here, as well as Glendale, Arizona. And number three, he has served on the field as an IMB missionary along with his wife, Kathy. He is not a paper theorist. He's a practitioner. He knows what it's like to live in the dirt. He knows what it's like to live without electricity, running water, and being held at gunpoint on the mission field. He started churches in Tanzania, Africa, as well as an Islamic North African nation where he was put under house arrest. Number four, Robin has leadership experience. He was a regional leader, director of all of Eastern South America, which includes Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, and he supervised over 300 missionaries and their families, as well as the mission work in the Amazon River, as well as the Nile River. Robin has academic and administrative qualifications. He has been a professor at missions professor at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. He also served as interim president and interim vice president and dean of students. Number six, he has denominational experience. He has served on both the resolutions committee and the credentials committee. And number seven, the most important, he has a vision for missions. His goal is to lead us to start over 500 churches here in North America, over 2,000 churches across the field, around the world, on the foreign field. He wants to send out thousands of missionaries throughout the world at Southern Baptist, as well as start 1,000 new chapters of WMU to promote missions in our churches. Peter Lord once said, to all us missionaries in Brazil, the main thing is to make the main thing the main thing. And I can guarantee you, Dr. Robin Hadaway is a well-qualified, proven leader who will make the main thing the main thing. Remember the mission.
The name of Robin Hadaway has been placed in nomination. The chair recognizes Don Currens for instructions on the ballot.
Thank you, Mr. President. Personal note, messengers, guests, thank you all for coming here to be part of this convention, for your travels that you have done, leaving your churches, representing your churches. I thank you for that. With messengers and guests, I'm counting guests right now, we have almost 11,000 people probably in this hall right now. Thank you for being here today. Okay. Mr. President, at this time, though, we have registered messenger-wise 8,095 messengers. So please take out your ballots. We know the drill. And I'm asking for ballot number 3. Ballot number 3. And please, it's so important, there's gonna be a lot of ballots. Make sure you don't have one stuck behind it, because we had 11, we've had 15 in the last election. So again, ballot number 3. As you know, you have to be in the hall to vote, according to bylaw 10, number I, because voting by F, I apologize, voting by proxy is not allowed. Again, it's very obvious. It's marked ballot 3, ballot 3. As you see, there are 10 squares at the top. I'm going to assign a name to each square, so please listen carefully. I'm following the order of how it was given. Bart Barber, please put an X on the number 1. For Bart Barber, if you wish to vote for him, put an X on square number 1. For Tom Askell, put an X on the square number 3. Tom Askell, put an X on the square number 3. To vote for Frank Cox, put an X on the square number 5. Again, Frank Cox, put an X on square 5. And to vote for Robin Hadaway, put an X on the square number 7. Again, Robin Hadaway is number 7. I'll repeat that one more time so there won't be confusion. Bart Barber is 1. Tom Askell is 3. Frank Cox is 5. And Robin Hadaway is 7. Please, as you finish, pass your ballots to the right. Please do not fold them as you pass them. Okay. So ushers, tellers, please collect the ballots.